Sure, raising kids can be tough, but raising a kid who's part shark is much tougher. Nanaue is a powerful demigod from Hawaiian mythology with a fierce, if tragic, story. And it all begins, as it so often does, with a god thirsting for a very cool lady.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding! Kīhei was a daring young woman from the island of Hawaii who wasn't about to let a storm get in the way of her dinner. Storms washed up the best shellfish, and besides, she loved the game of avoiding the giant waves to catch the crustaceans. Her courageous and playful habits were noticed by Kamahoali'i, the king of the sharks. He was a god with the ability to shapeshift, and he could manipulate the ocean weather. So he manipulated his own meet-cute by conjuring a humongous wave to pull Kīhei out to sea, providing the perfect opportunity to save her in the form of a very cute guy. Gods will be gods, I guess. His plan worked, and I don't blame Kīhei for falling for it. It would totally work on me. The couple began seeing each other in secret. Kīhei didn't know why her handsome, brave husband didn't want to meet any of her friends, but other than that red flag, he was checking off all her boxes. Eventually, they wed, and soon Kīhei became pregnant. At this point, Kamahoali'i revealed his true identity to her, and in doing so, returned to the sea. He knew that when their child was born, people were going to have a lot of questions. Kīhei already had questions. For example, why will people have questions about our baby? Kamahoali'i told her, well, if he's a boy, he'll be born with a shark mouth on his back. So make sure to hide the mouth under his kīhei, and most importantly, never feed him animal flesh. If he has meat, he'll grow to hunger for man meat. Kīhei did give birth to a lovely little boy that she named Nanaue. As predicted, he had a gaping opening on his back that looked a lot like a shark mouth, so Kīhei never let the little boy go without his kapa on. Her immediate family was made aware of his situation, especially the part about his vegetarian diet, and they were happy to follow the Shark King's directions to ensure the kid grew up protected. Well, most of them were. The boy's grandfather was the only one who had doubts. The kid's gotta eat meat, he insisted. How else is he gonna grow up into a strong man? When Nanaue was old enough to eat with the menfolk, the old man snuck him some pork, and this began an insatiable appetite in the kid that I find very relatable despite my growing love for pigs and their amazing faces. The locals jokingly referred to Nanaue as a shark. That's how gluttonous he was for meat. To which Kīhei would nervously laugh and change the subject. Trouble held off until Nanaue grew up. At this point, all the weird rules of his life were hindering his happiness. For one thing, he couldn't swim or roughhouse with the guys, fearful that they'd discover the 12 rows of teeth on his back. Then his grandfather died, and no one was around to sneak him some pork, arguably the best meat. He began sneaking it into his diet of his own accord, and his cravings for meat got so intense that he became less picky about what kind of meat he indulged in. Right around that time, people began disappearing. They'd go out to the ocean and never return. Nanaue acted particularly worried about this. He'd hang out by the shore and warn approaching swimmers, I don't know, maybe you should avoid this part of the bay. It just seems like things aren't very safe, but, I wouldn't know more about that than you do. Things escalated further when King Umi required that all the young men in the village work on his plantation. Nanaue tried to get out of it, but the other guys grumbled at this special treatment, so he began working alongside them. The guys noticed that no matter how hot the sun beamed down, Nanaue wouldn't remove his kīhei. But one day the boys removed it for him, for shits and giggles. When they saw the big shark maw on Nanaue's back, there was a lot of shit, but not so many giggles. Nanaue got so mad he blacked out in a rage, bit a bunch of the guys, then ran into the ocean, where everyone watched him transform fully into a shark. That's when King Umi and the locals put two and two together. Yeah, Nanaue obviously ate all those people who disappeared. The village quickly rallied against Nanaue. While they couldn't catch him, they did capture Kīhei and her brothers and brought them before the king, demanding they pay a hefty price for hiding a Sharkman. But King Umi allowed Kīhei to share their side of the story. Her explanation garnered a lot of sympathy from Umi. Let's see if Nanaue's father has any guidance on this matter. Kamahoali'i usually keeps peace between the sharks and us. King Umi prayed to Kamahoali'i for advice. The shark god decreed that no blame should be placed on Kīhei or her brothers, who followed his advice to a T. The only man who fucked up was Kalei's father, and that guy was dead, so what can you do? Kamahuali'i did not directly punish his son, but he did banish him from the Big Island, and he banished him under penalty of death. And that kind of means Kalei got punished anyway, as she never saw her son again. Pour out some kava for poor Kalei. Nanaue relocated himself to Maui and pretended to be a traveler. He was handsome and charming and easily assimilated with his new community. In fact, he was so well liked, the chief there offered his own daughter in marriage. Nanaue said, "Sure, that sounds great, but for sacred reasons, the two of us must sleep in separate houses." And by sacred reasons, he of course meant the giant shark mouth on his back. Nanaue tried, he really tried to quit man-flesh cold turkey, but eventually his cravings got the best of him again. Pretty recklessly too, as the residents saw him shove a girl into the ocean, dive in after her, and eat her alive. He left Maui and tried this whole shtick again at Molokai. This time, when the locals figured out his deal, they brought in a lot of muscle, as well as their local demigod, Una. They bound the Sharkman and put together a huge pyre, the only thing that could kill him. Even then it was a trial to do the deed. The fire kept going out as Nanaue lost so much blood and water. And when he was finally dead, they had to slice his body to ribbons to ensure he'd stay that way. That took an entire sacred bamboo grove to do the job. They used the bamboo as cutting instruments. These folks didn't have Nanaue's backstory. And honestly, how many people can a demigod get away with mauling before his backstory ain't worth shit? So they didn't think to ask Kamahuali'i for help in dealing with his son. And once word got around to the shark god that his son had been killed, he was so devastated and insulted that the sacred bamboo grove had been used to do the deed, he made it so any bamboo grown in that grove would no longer be strong or sharp enough to weaponize. And that was the tragic end to Nanaue. I hope you enjoyed this Hawaiian tale. I hope I did it justice. My apologies for any mispronunciations. I'm sure there are variants of the story, and I would love to hear them. Please share if you know a different version, or if you think I misinterpreted something in this one. If you'd like to hear the tale from a native Hawaiian, and I definitely recommend that, I would point you in the direction of the Legends from the Pacific podcast, hosted by Kamuela Kaneshiro. Kamu gets fully into how the tale is connected to the island, as well as cultural protocols that steer the legend's plot, and his storytelling is riveting. If you enjoy my storytelling, you will love my book, Fucked Up Fairy Tales, a collection of funny, dark, shocking folk and fairy tales for an adult audience. It debuts in October, but you can secure your copy now by doing the thing where you, order it, but, pre? All my videos have been bombing since I began hyping up the book, but I can't let a video pass without doing so. I'm really proud of it, and if you put the money down now, it will create buzz that gets the book into more stores and in more hands in the long run. Thanks for watching! I'll see you for the next Fucked Up Fairy Tale.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding!